Hello, and welcome to the Paper People podcast. My name is Amy Williams, and the power just went out. That's not pertinent to the episode, but it is sort of the reason why you're getting a different view today, a very messy view. Honestly, I should have checked all this out before hitting record, but we are fighting against daylight, and so I wanted just to get the intro recorded really quickly. This is such a fun episode. We have Bailey. I've never said Bailey's last name out loud. We have Bailey from Well Read PhD on the podcast today. You know when you meet someone and you're like, I like them. That absolutely happened with Bailey. So much of this episode had to be trimmed out because we recorded for 2 hours and it did not feel like it at the time, which that's like a good sign, you know, for a blossoming friendship. So Bailey is your resident bookstagrammer. She is also very well traveled and she's always around for a book rec and a travel recommendation. And she has been keeping a form of a memory keeping journal for a couple years now. And I love her approach to it because it's fast and loose. It's confident. It's just very cool. I love the way she approaches her pages and what she looks for when she is creating a page. Bailey is also the creator of Play April, and we recorded this in the midst of April, so it's fun to hear how it's going for her, and it's nice to get some inspiration for how we can incorporate more play into our lives. Last week on the episode with Rachel, I talked about practicing creativity. I think practicing playfulness and play in your life is also, you know, the same thing. I think you can't have play without creativity and vice versa. So a lot of the ideas that I had last week, you know, for practicing creativity can really work for practicing play as well. So I would love to hear how you're practicing play this week. 2 things I want to tell you. 1, merch is available, so please grab a t-shirt or a crew neck sweatshirt from my shop. They look like this. The second thing, Christy Happy Plans. If you do not know Christy, she listens to every episode and does an insane spread based on the episode. The way she takes what we talk about and just expands on it, so beautiful. I look forward to it every episode. This past episode with Rachel, illustrated these beautiful drawings of me and a rainbow mug and a podcast mic and a little watercolor set. Like, it's just the cutest thing you've ever seen. I'll put it here. She sent these over to me and she was like, hey, you know, is it okay that I did this? Which, number one, yes, please. I have to have more. And I told her, like, you should sell it. They're so cute. And she's like, no, but if you want to put it up for like donation, that would be something I'm into. And I'm like, duh, what a great idea. So together, Christy and I have decided that we will list this as a digital download, so you can print it out at home. You can print it on regular paper and cut around it, paste it in your journals, or you can print it on sticker paper and either by hand cut into stickers or maybe use a Cricut or something. That's like out of my depth, if I'm being honest with you. To create your own stickers at home, I have the PDF up for $6 right now. Every bit of that goes to the Immigrant Legal Resource Center. So please get some incredible drawings, some incredible bits for your journal while contributing to a good cause, a much needed cause in this current landscape. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Oh yeah. When you hear this, look up because I got some stuff I want you to see. And also, I don't know if you know this or not, but on my Instagram page at Amy Y'all, I post all of these photos and more. The guest always sends me over extra looks at their journal. So make sure you're going over to my Instagram and getting a good look at those. And that's all I got. I got to go to book club actually. So I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy. So I want to talk about Playpril a little bit. So this episode will be out after April's over. So because this is not the first time you've done it. Okay, so I want to know how it's going, and I also want to know how it's changed from the last time you've done it, and like what you've learned in the past that keeps you doing it.
Okay. Wow.
Try to remember all of this because I've already forgotten.
I was like, ooh, here we go. So Playpril is going okay. I think it's going pretty well because I really tried to just like write down a bunch of prompts of like stuff that would be easy to do, as well as like, you know, something crazy like, oh, you know, like go to a new beach that I've never been to, right? Like that's sort of one of those like stretch Playprils versus like, oh, like let's do like one thing today that's different. But yeah, no, it's going well. I think it is nice also because Shawnish is now working from home And so we're both just like in our little 1 bedroom apartment in Midtown
Mhm.
hanging out with our cat. And so it's like, okay, not just like wake up, work out, make dinner, watch shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like, okay, something has to like is booked into my day to like be different or like to
Is he like doing it with you?
like, no, he is not. But I think it's like, I don't know. The other day I like came home from yoga and he was like, I'm meditating. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. So he like downloaded an app and stuff. He was like, I just wanted to try something new. And I was like,
Mhm.
okay, wow. In
Aw,
April. So he did not he's not like an official subscriber to Play,
sure, sure,
but
sure.
yeah, so I started it because I was in grad school at Emory, living where I worked also. So I had a full-time job and full-time grad school. And
Mhm.
I just like had a bajillion things going on. And then Shawnish went to India for work for like 3 weeks. And I was like, okay, wait, this is actually good. Like, I am going to use this to like actually go do new things or like go try things or like, do the girly stuff that like Shawnish probably wouldn't want to go do with me. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it myself. And so I like wrote down a list of things that I'd like never done or like foods I had never tried or like places I hadn't gone in Atlanta that I wanted to. And it was really nice. I was like, wow, this is cool. Like I feel like I was also sort of in a rut with just like grad school is just and I was gonna ask, have you ever been like in a setting where you feel like you have like one big project to do and like you have to like break it down? Well, I feel like maybe this is like your launches where you're like, I have one big thing to do and I have to go like mug by mug or like page by
Yeah.
page. Like,
Yeah, it's yeah.
yeah,
I'm kind of laughing a little bit because it never feels like just one big project. It feels like eight big projects. But yeah, very much like sales and drops and things like that can feel
yeah.
yeah.
Where you have like this like deadline, but it's also like this like amorphous thing. And so it was just
Yes.
like, I mean, I was just like sad all the time. Like I was like not well and
Yeah.
anxious and like, um, yeah, it was a way for me to just sort of like be like, okay, I have to do like all of this work today, but also like I have sanctioned fun, right? Like it was a
Right.
way to sort of like, this is my court appointed fun thing that I like have to do. And yeah, that really helped because I like had to schedule it in. I had to structure it in. And yeah, no, it was really cool. And it was nice also to sort of like say, okay, here's like one thing I can do that like
Mhm.
moves the needle forward. Um, and also like I read somewhere and researched that, um, as we get older, it's harder to do new things because we I mean, I see my friends like kids and it's like, oh, I see you one day and you don't know a word. And then the next day you're like, oh, blue, green.
Right.
Wow, your brain overnight like grew.
Yeah.
Um, and as we get older, it's like, oh, well, I've already been to Mexico or like, like
Right.
that sort of thing where
Yeah.
you sort of become like jaded or like not as awestruck. And so I was like, how can I like do something to sort of give myself new experiences? Because then that improves like happiness. And so it was like
Yeah, I think when you're
one,
also like you're saying this big looming thing, you it's like hard to see the forest through the trees. And
yes,
you're like, "Oh, I know that I just have to get up and do all this and then go to bed." And I think that can get comfortable
yeah,
as much as it is like so miserable.
yes, yeah, that was exactly it. Where it was like at one point, I just had to sort of like, I was like, okay, I have to make this fun. I did like sort of finish my PhD just sort of like out of spite. Like I was like, I
Mm,
have already given
of
X amount
course.
of years of my life to this. Like we
Yeah.
just gotta get it done.
Hmm.
But I literally was at the point where I was like, okay, how do we make it fun? Like how do I make this fun? And like I like literally had a sticker chart on my wall where every 100 words I wrote, I got a sticker. And after 10 stickers, then I got to like go get a McFlurry or whatever.
Yeah, that
Like
rolls.
it was just like I had to make it fun. And then I had to like give myself this play. And now I feel like I've gotten to a point where I like don't have to like sanction the play, like it's just become a habit.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's been I think the biggest change because I think I started it as like a okay, you mentally ill person, like
Mm.
you need to do something that is not like stare at screen, read a book,
Yeah.
stare at screen.
Literally touch grass.
Yes, literally touch grass. I think it was
Yeah.
before the kids were even saying touch grass. Like
I
this
bet.
2020, 2021. Like I was like doing comp exams where we had to like you have 200 to 300 like pieces of literature that you have to like know. And then it's like academic hazing. They like put you on but Emory won't they don't care. They won't watch this. They
Emery
don't care about my journal thing.
Emery is watching.
And girl,
Emery's
I
always
mean,
watching.
you really truly never know. Um but yeah, I literally like you have 200, 300 books you have to like keep in your brain and then you have 24 hours to write like 30 pages of response. And so I was like, okay, I'm prepping for that and that was a looming thing and then the dissertation was a looming thing. So I
How
was
do
like,
you
girl, crazy.
I'm derailing so fast real quick because I'm like,
Okay.
how do you train yourself to remember what you read?
Ugh.
Is it like taking notes during? Is it taking notes after? Like what, or is your brain just special?
No, I think, well, I'm sure there is like a special, I'm sure there's something happening there. But yeah, who knows? I one time asked my therapist, I was like, "Do you think I'm ADHD?" And she was like, "No, you get too many things done for you to be like." And I was like, "Okay, okay."
I know that I'm not because when I steal Elaine's medication, I feel like probably what meth feels like, which
You're like, "I'm all
personally is
hyped
awesome.
up."
Yeah, I'm like, I need more of this, so
You're
yeah.
like, "I'm ready to go."
I love my job. I love my life. I'm like, somebody really should give me that. And maybe that's how it's supposed to make you feel. I don't know,
I
but
don't know. Yeah, but yeah,
hard to
that
say.
that feels like flying too close to the sun. I'm like, I don't
Okay.
know if the world could handle me
Yeah.
on Ritalin or whatever.
No, no, no.
But I don't what was
And for the record, I'm not stealing Elaine's prescription medication.
yeah,
So,
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. For the record. Yeah.
I just wanted to put that out there
Yeah.
and
Just
don't do that. I think it's
don't,
illegal
don't do drugs.
and don't
Um,
worry.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow.
This
I was like, this is gonna be a very drug episode. And I'm like, wait, no, actually don't. Ah. Um,
this is the PG-13 episode.
yeah,
Okay. Okay, okay.
13 episode.
Real
I'm like,
question.
I like um
So yeah, how do you remember all this stuff? You
mm.
just had to plan and train and
No, yeah, I just feel like I think remembering like is oh, Shauna's is here. Hey bub. What's
no,
up?
Elaine's gonna be somewhere.
Hell yeah. Love
Yeah.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
the cameos,
Hmm.
our supporting actor. Um But yeah, no, I was thinking about this because I was thinking about your question you'd asked about like what I would consider my journaling style. And I feel like
Hmm.
a lot of the stuff I do, and I feel like this also makes sense of like why I like work in like a library kind of job is like cataloging information just in case, like just in case I need it. And like once we get into journal stuff, I'll show you examples of that. But I feel like, yeah, I take notes when I read. I try, like, a big part of my reading life now is trying not to do that because I'm like,
Because
for
that's like work.
it's like work, yeah. For a long time, like I did not read for pleasure. Like my whole bookstagram really came out of like I graduated in 2023 from my PhD and I was like, I get to read for fun again. Like I get to read like my silly little murder mysteries and
Mhm.
like thrillers and things that aren't just me thinking about like neocolonial hegemony, which is like
Mhm.
what my dissertation was on. And like I still really loved that research, but um yeah, not having to take notes and not having to like remember everything and remember who wrote that or like what year
Right.
that was written in or like
Right.
who's in conversation with Wordsworth or whatever. Um but yeah, I took notes while I like read books and then I took notes
Physically in the book or
sometimes
elsewhere.
physically in the book, like annotations, and then also like physically on paper. And then I
Mhm.
would put it in a doc so that I could easily like search it.
Search
And oh
it.
my God, this
Yeah.
is like so librarian now that I'm thinking about it. Because I would literally put like keywords at the top of each like sort of like my
Uh-huh.
notes to be like, okay, this book was about,
Yeah, I'm obsessed with that.
like it's crazy. It's
I
crazy.
love that.
It's crazy town. It
Yeah.
is like it's nuts. And I guess I don't know if you've ever gotten into like commonplacing. I don't really know what it is.
I struggle with that so hard because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, now I'm in this. Now I'm about to talk a little
You're
trash.
gonna get canceled by the
I am. I really am.
commonplacers.
So I saw this video on my Instagram pop up the other day, and it's like, oh, I like fill in my commonplace book with me, and they essentially made like a journal spread. And I sort of was like, I don't think at this point either one of us know what this book is because I don't think
No.
it's that. I read a lovely Substack, which I think Substack's gotten out of control, but that's another thing that's gonna get me canceled.
Preach, preach, preach,
I,
preach, preach. We have reached peak Substack.
I'm so scared about this episode.
Oh, I'm sorry, hot take.
I
Wow,
read
hey, baby.
yeah,
Hey, my
honestly.
cat has also joined us.
Oh, I saw a tail but couldn't see the body of the
A
cat. Okay,
periscope, a
beautiful.
periscope. Yeah,
Love that.
he'll hang
Yeah,
out.
I this Substack was great actually because she was like, this is how I do it. And she categorizes it in a really interesting way. And like she does a similar thing that you're saying where like she basically does like a 70-30 rule. So she writes on the 70% of the book and
Oh,
then
uh-huh.
30% she's writing keywords. She has symbols that means like this is my idea. I'll send it to you and I'll put it in the show notes
Oh,
because it's
yes. Oh my
actually it was
God.
like really cool, but I feel like that's just what my cousin is a little
Yeah,
bit of a commonplace book with feelings.
yes, I agree. Yeah, where it's like, oh, I heard this thing or like, oh, I read this thing. And I think, yeah, yeah, the, I've seen commonplace being, and like, wait, what was that person putting in their commonplace book?
Quotes mostly that I saw, and
Okay.
I think for a reason. I think either some of it was research based, and then maybe some of it was just like personal. Like this is helping me change my mind about the topic of parenthood or whatever, and that so then that's how also she was categorizing it. Like,
Okay.
yeah, it was interesting.
That is cool. Yeah, there is a woman I have followed because like, and also I was thinking, one of the questions you asked was like, what is your planner journey? And I started like, I laughed when you posted that video the other day that was like, where somebody who's like planner down because literally used to be me. I used to like schedule every
Really?
single second of the day. I had like a running to-do list. I had like all the stuff. I don't have it anymore because I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh, I throw all those away.
I got, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't keep it. Like I had like the, what is it? Papier,
Uh-huh.
papier, papier.
Uh-huh. I
It
always
has,
just assumed it was Papier, yeah.
yeah, it has like it had like, here I am. It's like it has a
I'm like,
cheetah on it. You're like,
werewolf bar
that is
mitzvah is all I see.
spooky scary. Um, but yeah, it had like cheetahs on it and it was like, what is your like focus for the day? And then it was like, here are all my meetings, here's all my to-dos, here's
Mm.
like all the things and I would track at the bottom.
Mm.
And so that was where I started, but I started following Megan Rhiannon. Do you know her? Have you heard of her on YouTube? Because I tried also to get into Bujo situations,
Oh,
but
man.
as you and Kristen said, I cannot use a ruler like that. Like,
Mm-mm.
I'm
That is
like,
not my journey.
I was, yeah, yep. I was like, I love that for you, but for me, I simply will spend like years on it if I do that. But yeah, so she had a commonplace book that was specifically for like articles that were, I think she is autistic and um, hey, can you get down, bub? Okay. Um, One of her like special interests is Sherlock Holmes. And so
Hmm.
every time she like read an article about Sherlock Holmes, she would like copy the article into her commonplace book. And so I was like, okay, so it's like a collection of information. But then for me, and like she has crazy cool handwriting and like I think it's like like important to her to sort of like process it by writing it down, which I mean, I was just talking about. But for me, I was like, I would just print off the article and so that's how I felt about like commonplace. I'm like, what is the sort of distinction between journaling and commonplacing,
Mm.
collecting and archiving? Like, I'm like, there are all of these different sort of buzzwords, and I don't know where I fit into all of them. But I think one of the motivations of my journaling is to like not even like forget like my day to day. Like, there's some things like it's fine if I don't track like, every time I fill up with gas. That's
Mm.
fine. You know what I mean? Um, like I actually kind of have a blind spot when it comes to like big events, which we can get into. Like I have not journaled like I got married in November of 2024. I have like not journaled like anything from there.
Yeah.
And I just
Will
like,
you
kept it.
though?
I think so.
I
Maybe.
so I feel the same like so I have a 5-year journal that like I go through phases of loving and then feeling plagued by, and the last quarter of the year is really hard for me, and I just abandoned it last year.
Yeah.
And I had some really lovely moments around Christmas with my family that unfortunately, like spoiler alert, doesn't always happen. And
Yeah.
so
No.
I
Yeah.
was like, I need to write this down. I
Yeah.
need to write this down, I need to write this down. And I never did. And every night when I sit down with my 5-year, I am like, well, you messed up because you didn't write down this thing. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, basically, I want you to be like, it's okay if you don't.
No, I think it is okay if you don't. I no, really, I do. Like I literally and so I think I will on some things just because like okay, because so we got married and then we got married again and then again.
Well,
So
I guess I should say a marriage is way more than just like a Christmas thing. Like, so I think
right,
you
you're
probably
talking
are
about
remembering it
yeah,
so much more than
yeah,
I did.
that is true. Yeah, where it feels like that is like very milestone. And like
Yes.
yeah, I think I will like journal because I have like, like stuff from my honeymoon that
Oh,
like,
sweet.
oh, I've collected. Hello, sir. This is
What's
sorry,
his name?
everyone. Pierogi.
Amazing.
He's a little dumpling. Okay, well,
Mm,
that
well,
shot.
I think we just saw his little dumpling.
I think you did. I think so. You can't give that away for free, baby. Um, but yeah, no, I think what you're yeah, like the fleeting moments or like the like turns of phrases. I
Mm,
feel like yeah, that's what people sometimes collect in their commonplace, but I also feel like yeah, that's journaling to me. So
yeah.
yeah, I didn't mean to like derail us on this like
No, I love that. And if anybody is commonplacing and watching this, like please in the comments tell us
believe.
because I like am definitely not knocking it, but I also think that like you said buzzwords and I feel so drawn to like the I don't know the right way to say it, but just like the trend and popularity
Oh,
of
junk journaling.
yes, and
Yeah.
like and even just journaling and in general. And so yeah, I think we've sort of as a community like lost the plot on what some of these things are.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes it's like reinventing the wheel. And I feel like I'm constantly reinventing the wheel too. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like this is
Yeah.
my
Well,
planner.
the relationship changes. And
Yes.
that's like and that's half the reason why I wanted to do this is because I I sort of like we talked to a prior guest about like the invisible and like false rules of journaling and like these
Yes. Yeah.
rules that we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
And I thought a 5-year journal, for instance, had to
Yes.
be this is everything I did today. And then I see people like Rachel Dawson and I think Claire a little bit, but I think Rachel a little bit more will just like play in hers and like write, like, the popular funny TikTok phrases. And it's like it
Uh,
breaks my brain a little bit
yeah,
because
that
I
breaks my brain
forget
too.
you can do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway.
Yeah, because it feels like for some reason, like the 5 year thing, because I have like a 5 year thing I got like literally like maybe 2019. I like tried to use it
Yeah.
and like it's just sitting in my drawer and I'm like, oh, every time I like want to throw it away, I'm like, well, it could be cool if I do. Girl, I haven't done it. Like I have not touched it. But it's because I think of it like an archive, like you're thinking of, where it's like
Mhm.
this is factually what happened today
Mhm.
versus like it just sort of being like yeah, it's just sort of like a temperature check. It's just sort of
Yeah.
like it's a vibe check. Like it's like not that deep, but
Yeah.
I run into those same blockages as well where it's like,
And to be honest, I wish I were not in a 5-year. I wish I were using my weeklies and my Hobonichi cousin as the space that my 5-year provides. And like, yes, it is cool to be like, oh, okay, this day last year I was doing that,
hmm.
but I don't know.
Do
I
you
don't
think
know.
you would try that? Like, do you think you would
Well, unfortunately, I'm also the
crack
type
it
of
open?
person who feels like they like a completist. I have sat through so
Ah,
many
that's it.
terrible seasons of Real
Yeah.
Housewives because I'm like,
I have to know the lore.
I have to know everything. Yeah. And so I don't necessarily feel that way. My cousin, for some reason, like I can abandon the weeklies and be totally fine.
Mhm.
But for some reason with this 5-year, I'm like, yeah, no, I have to keep going, even though I'm only
Well,
just like a year and, a few months in.
well, do you feel like because you said you would maybe want to put it in your weeklies, do you feel like you would like experiment with like
I am
But then it
allergic
gets
to
into like the
repeating
like I was
myself.
about to say that gets into
Yeah.
like double dipping, and I
Yeah.
totally yeah.
And
No.
I don't even have enough time to like work in my Hobonichi now. I
Yes.
would not have enough
I'm
time
like
to
I don't
like
have time to write it down a bajillion
yeah.
times.
And I love people that have multiple journals and I am so in awe of that. Could not be me because I
No.
just don't one, I don't understand how I would use it. And
Yes.
that's again why I wanted to talk to everybody that has stuff like
Yes.
this.
No. This is great. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I would use it for, I guess, if I had more than
Yeah.
just what I
And
have.
I struggle to, I mean, I think I'm pretty good about, and I think you have this too, where it's like you have like a work and just like
Mhm.
your cousin. Like you have like your like planner and your journal. And I think that is like good for me. I thought until recently. And then
Uh-oh.
I made no, well, it's like, and it's not that deep. It's just like I was like, well, I feel like I don't want to write down it's like the archiving thing where it's like, okay, I feel like my cousin is like fun memory keeping, like go hog wild. And I
Hmm.
feel like my weeks, which is my work planner, is like, here's my to-do list. Here's my like actual
Hold
like,
that up a little bit more.
oh God. Okay, wait, let's see. Make
Oh
sure.
yeah, if you can.
Hold on, hold on. Let me make sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
think you're
I
good.
think we're
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
It's not going to be super clear, but just to see how you do it. Okay.
yeah. So, and I color code, which is again crazy. It's that categorization thing.
Hmm.
But for me, green is work, and then orange is exercise, pink is like fun, and then you can't really tell, but purple is like, yeah, the purple I used this Tombow. What number is that?
That one's pretty dark. 676.
Girl, how do
Was that
you
right?
know that? Yes, that's crazy. Yeah, and oh no. Yes,
Uh,
I use this one. I'm always getting it mixed up. 676.
oh yeah. And 685 maybe?
I don't
What's
know.
that one? Oh yeah, I know they scratch off
It's
so
real rough.
bad.
But yes, so I use that and I use this pink one all the time.
Hmm.
And they look the same actually in my weeks now that I've like while I was doing it, they looked different. But purple is like appointment, so like a doctor's appointment.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, but so I do that and
And
then I
you never show this one, right? Like,
never show this one. No,
yeah.
no, this is not.
Because that's not the point.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't like, yeah, and I do like period tracking and like I get migraines pretty badly. And so I like track that. At one point was tracking my steps a day, so that was
Mhm.
good. I haven't kept up with that. And yeah, but for the most I have started like I've been pretty good this year about like tracking. So I like track
Oh yeah.
like days I've gone to yoga, times I've seen my friends because like yeah, if you work from home, like going in or
Mhm.
whatever is unfortunately exercise and like seeing other people are like great for you. Um
Right. Yeah. Who
Studies
knew?
are correct, unfortunately. Um Taking my meds, putting on makeup because like if I'm just like schlubbing it at home, sometimes I just like will get in a mood.
Hmm.
Days in office and then like if I've had a drink or not, just like not like I'm not like drinking myself to death or anything, but
Sure. I
just
think it's nice to know that. So you have your weeks and it's just
yes,
work, but you
just
have fun stuff. It's life. It's work and life. That's what mine is too.
yes, it's work in life, but I don't like you do like cute things like good luck spot and like you're like
Oh.
you're like little your
It's because
stickers and everything.
stickers, it's only because I used to have a weeks and it looked like that and it was
Yeah,
ugly and I hated it. And not really. It just was not it no longer worked for me. After like 2 years,
yeah.
it didn't work for me anymore.
Yeah, and I feel like this is working for me kind of. I honestly might, I don't know. I'm like, do I go back to like my papier days and just
Mm.
get little cheetahs again and just like not have to think about it? I don't know. But
Why would you do that?
just because I feel like, and this is also, so the third book I have is just literally, it's just like, it's like a scratch notebook because
Mm.
it's like, this is just plans. And this is just like fun memory keeping, and especially like travel journal kind of stuff. And then the other one is just like notes, like if I'm working on a website and I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
same.
well, here's like the hex code for X or whatever. Or I'm like, okay, have I done this page? Yes, check. And I'm like, I don't really need that anywhere. But the papier one had like a really good, like you had your schedule for the day and then you had,
That's exactly it.
yeah. You had your
Because
schedule for
that's
the
why the
day?
weeks did not work for me, is because it was just not structured enough.
Yes, I literally, the Papier one was like, what is your number one focus for the day? And I was like, oh, great. And so I've
Yes.
noticed, like, I have started drawing that in. Like, I'm like, priority, like, oh, Monday, I'm going to work on that. Tuesday, I'm going to do that. Like, I
Mhm.
have made it.
And
I'm
it's the same
reinventing the
reason
wheel.
why bullet journaling did not work for us is because
Yes,
it requires too much ahead of time that
yes,
I'm not willing to do. The most I can do is stick down stickers when I have an appointment or a meeting
girl.
and then build off of it. But yeah, I also am very drawn, I find in my older age to have the page that's like, what's the focus today? And
Yes,
like, even the little areas that are like built-in trackers for you that you just fill it
yes.
in. I'm like, cool, yeah, it turns out I really do like that. So I don't know
Yeah.
what that means. I don't know if that's like I don't know if like priorities have shifted or if it's with age or if it's like me just finally figuring it out. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. I feel like there is like a component of, I think what we were talking about earlier, where it's like, chipping away at not chipping away or like but just like being able to tangibly see like okay this is what I'm intentionally focusing on
Hmm.
and then actually I'm doing it like the seeing the follow through is so satisfying.
That's
I
amazing.
think that's what it is because I was like oh Monday I did do that thing that I wrote was my priority and so yeah but I feel like I need that like structure. I need that like priority thing. And then I think I need just like space for notes because I, it's, I'm just writing things down or like, oh, remember to do this later, like that kind of thing. That's not
Yeah.
necessarily a to do for right that day. But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
what's that other notebook?
Oh, it is
Just like a
literally,
random thing?
yeah. My father-in-law got, oh, let me go grab it. Ooh,
I
it's
can't
down
wait.
my stool. Yeah.
To
Ah.
mention father-in-law a notebook, I'm instantly
Oh, yeah,
interested.
I don't know. He like, he's hilarious. He just gave us like this was a couple Christmases ago. He was just like he had ordered all of these journals off of like a targeted Instagram ad. So the brand is WTF Notebooks.
Obsessed.
Hashtag not an ad. And this one says, my list of things I was right about, which is
Oh, I love
very
it.
good. But I don't usually love a spiral, but
Yeah,
it's
not at all.
helpful for like keeping things open, like while I'm doing something. I host trivia every week, and so like we get like a default order of it, and I sometimes don't like it, so then I
Hmm.
change it up. But yeah, so this is sort of like, and I've been thinking of it as just sort of like my parking lot. Like it's just like
Hmm.
where I write things down
Hmm.
that I want to remember that yeah, but that don't feel like they are plans necessarily, but they also don't feel like something I want to like
Hmm.
memorialize.
Yeah, I
Oh no.
think these books are too expensive for me to write my to-do list
That's
in.
exactly it. Because I tried to do that with an A6 at one point. Like, and I can take you through my planner
Yeah,
journey.
I do want to see that.
But literally yeah, I tried like an A6 and probably like 2022, 2023. Like Claire was doing this thing where it was like, oh, journal swap like on
Hmm.
her and Kayla
Hmm.
Ravioli. Um,
Ravioli.
she was like selling hers and so I bought it off of her and like, she had only used like the first two pages. It was like, this is not for me. And so
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll try it out. And this is like probably like March-ish. So, but it was just so freaking small. I was like, I can't. And then I felt, yeah, because of the texture of the paper, I was like, I feel bad just like scrawling my chicken scratch all over this.
And it's so funny that I'm sitting here saying this to you because, well, my first question before I tell you this, how often are you going through these notebooks from your father-in-law? Like when do you
Oh,
like how long do they last for you?
a few months, like
Hmm.
maybe 6 months. But it's like stuff where it's just like, yeah, that's literally just a hex code.
Hmm.
What does this mean? Like, I need it like right there in the moment, but I don't need to keep this. Like, I will not keep this.
See,
It's,
unfortunately, I do need it. Like because
oh,
oh my God, I'm turning this into about me and
no, it's fine. This
we're
is
gonna change it.
therapy.
But I buy these paperage notebooks off Amazon. They're like
Yes,
$11 each. I
yes.
love them,
They're cute as
but
hell.
I go through like three a year and I archive them and put them in my studio. But like when I am going through and needing information, I then have to go through all like, oh, was it in August or was it in February or whatever? And so it takes so much time. So
Oh,
I
whoa. Okay.
literally on Sunday, so a few days ago, decided to
Oh
order
no.
a Sterling ink because
Oh, I
of
saw that. Yes.
yeah, because of a previous guest on the podcast that hasn't come out yet. She was like, basically, she was trying to do a commonplace book. This is going
Okay.
to get confusing. A
Okay.
commonplace
Yes.
book in her cousin and
Okay.
use the Sterling ink as memory keeping. And she was like, I absolutely should have done that the other way around.
Okay. Okay.
And she actually does commonplacing a lot better than I think the other girls do.
Okay.
But anyway, so then it kind of just like unlocked for me that I could use the weeklies as a to-do list because I do
Mm.
like to every day write out my to-do list. It's
Mm.
different than in my planner because I don't always have the space in my planner for every little like minute thing,
Yes.
and then use the back for notes. And so that way it's in my mind hopefully one a year.
Yeah. No, I,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? So
that makes
anyway,
sense.
it's due to
Yeah.
arrive today, and I'm like so anxious to get into it.
You're gonna like, just like,
I'm
yeah.
excited,
Yeah.
but
That's your
anyway,
whole weekend right there.
100%, 100%. Okay, so enough about me. Tell me the books. So you talked me through your weeks, you talked me through your crappy
Yeah.
notebook.
Yeah.
I
Crappy.
want to get into your cousin
Uh-huh.
because I have some questions for you because I think you use it a little bit differently than
Ooh.
I do.
Oh, okay. I'm interested.
So,
Like, I feel
but first I want to hear you talk about it before I spring.
yeah. Well, do you want to see like my
Yes.
like first for well not like first because I've like journaled forever. Like, I mean, I was an English major like professionally for a very long time. I have always written notes and
Yeah.
always had some sort of something. But I think in like 2022, 2023, I literally went to the freaking Joann's over by the Walmart on
Hmm.
Scott,
R.I.P.
RIP, and just picked up like it's just like a black, I don't even know if there's a brand or if it's on here anymore. It literally was just like a black, like Joann's brand,
Like a
like,
sketchbook?
yeah, sketchbook. And
Yeah.
I just sort of like, okay, there's just like straight blank pages. And I'm so not a completist.
Yeah.
Also the thing, I just have like things that I
So
have.
what, so this is very much like,
But
is it like a
then
creative planner, like a planner journal?
this was like memory keeping. This like, I mean, I don't know how much,
Wow.
but yeah, it was like these 2 pages were my whole week. And
And
so,
so what year was this? Remind me?
mm, remind me, I think this was 2023. This one was
Okay.
2023. I was doing like structured planner, sort of like Bujo stuff, probably, I mean, up until then in
Yeah.
various ways. But this was like, I was like, I just want to like remember things, you know?
Yeah. And
Um,
what inspired that?
it was watching like bullet journal people on YouTube. Like I'm trying to think. Oh, um, what's her name? Oh, Lindsay Scribbles. She's very, and Say Mackenzie. Like
Oh, yeah.
she's a Texas girly, so love her. I'm also from Texas originally. And so is
What?
Danny. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, Texas gang gang.
I know. What part are you from?
I'm from like Fort Worth, Dallas, Fort Worth.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw she did like little doodles and stuff. And she has like at one point her stack was like she had like a German practice journal and all this stuff. And I was like, no, I'm not into that.
Oh.
But I feel like I was just constantly seeing all these like Bujo people and like different journalers. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna, start putting some color in there. And then I got on Instagram and like started following because I feel like most of my like journal influence came from YouTube originally. And
Hmm.
then I got on Instagram and I was like, oh, there's more. Here we go. Because I feel like I'm like the reverse book-wise. Like I feel like book-wise, I'm like Bookstagram. And then I like open it and sometimes it'll be like, there's a booktuber. And I'm like, I don't know anything about booktube. Like
I don't even know what Bookwise is. What is that?
Oh, no, just like
Oh, you're saying book-wise. Oh my
book-wise.
God.
Yeah. No, I do this all
Sorry.
the time.
Did you
No.
see me just get so stupid?
No,
I have
no,
to
it
tell
wasn't
everybody,
stupid.
I just have to say for everyone watching, it is a Thursday. It's in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's like peak Blah's time. Yeah, no, we're good. No, but also it sounds like it could be an app. Like it sounds like
Yeah,
they're like that was that Book Mori or
Bookly
something.
or something. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
it must be an app that
No.
okay, anyway. So you
No.
don't know booktubers.
No, I don't know any
Oh,
booktubers
I
except for
love the girlies.
there. Well, because I remember I watched one of yours, and I feel like because you read a lot of like contemporary romance kind of stuff. So I feel ish. Well, and lit fic and
I
unhinged.
go in and out. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do
yeah.
probably more so talk about, yeah.
Yeah, I feel yeah on your like
I
YouTube.
didn't mean to like tisk that, but
No,
yes.
no, you're good. You're good. You were like, actually,
You're like,
is that a fair characterization? No.
I think I
Um,
just like to stir the pot mostly on these contemporary romances, which is
yeah,
why it
because
seems
you're
like it's
like
all I read.
hot take.
Yeah.
I
Hot
didn't
take,
like
I
the
don't
Letty.
like the new Abby Jimenez book, but anyway, carry on.
I see. I don't even. I I don't know what it is about me. I'm like, no. I if it doesn't have like a murder in it, I'm like, I don't
Mm,
know. I don't know.
I get it.
Yeah, there's something there. Sure. Um, but yeah, I don't know any of the booktubers,
Mm.
which is wild, except for Tina from TBR, etc. She has like a podcast called Book Talk, etc. And so then she started a booktube. So like I've watched a couple of hers, but other than that, I don't know any of the booktube girlies. Um, but yeah, then I got on Instagram and then I like saw Claire and then I saw, oh my gosh, who else? Yeah, probably Rachel Dawson. Anyways, yeah, so I remember just like seeing all these girls on like the explore page who were like, doodling and like doing things with color. And oh, Bronte plans. Do you know
Hmm.
her? Yeah, and I
I
was,
just found her
oh,
in my Sterling Ink journey this weekend, and
is
I
she in a
like
Sterling
her.
Ink now?
She had tagged a video, Sterling Ink.
Okay, there you go.
So when I was researching, she came up, but I don't know that I think she's in a cousin.
Wow, where were we? Anyways, yeah, I saw them. They
On
were doing,
Instagram, I asked what inspired your 2023 change into that book. And is
yes.
that, and it was like seeing people on Instagram or
It
YouTube
was
first, then Instagram?
Yeah, it was YouTube
Okay.
first, then Instagram, and it was seeing girlies like not just using a planner for planning. Like I feel like the decor I had previously seen was very Bujo kind of like,
Mm.
okay, here's my theme for the month. And I was like, I cannot commit to that. Like I need, some other thing. And then I was like, you know what? I can like this is a fun way to like sort of remember like what was happening that day. Like I remember let me see if I can find or yeah, just like all this ephemera. Like we went to LA and like, had In-N-Out burger.
Cute.
I literally like ripped that from my greasy In-N-Out burger
Mm.
and popped it in. And then like here's like a coaster from Ladybird. Like
Oh,
literally, I was just like, I'm just gonna put stuff in. And so yeah, I really don't know like if there was a specific person in that, like when it first started. But then definitely you can see I learned like I followed Claire and Rachel and learned what like a hobonichi was and like what a tombo was. And like
mm.
before I was literally just using like this again, like random Joann's markers. I loved having this little sketchbook because it was like it was
Yeah.
$8 at the Joann's, like put
Yeah.
whatever in it. And so and
Yeah,
yeah,
I
don't
think
have to
that
have like fancy markers and like
right. Like
Canon Ivies and
when
stuff.
the
Like,
barrier to entry is lower, it's like then you can learn how to do it, which I think
yes,
is why after years of my like work notebook practice that I do feel like I can like confidently go into a $60
yes.
Sterling Ink book that is actually like 4 months already late, But
Well, but it's because like that structure will fit for what your needs are and like
yeah.
what you've identified from like sort of past iterations of that. Like it's all iteration. Like it's so design based. It's like, okay, what's working, what's not. Like, and that I think was what didn't stick for me about like a bullet journal situation. Of like, yeah, I can't commit to doing the same thing for the whole month.
No
Like
way.
for all my doodles have to be themed
Yeah,
after
I just think that's so boring.
it's
Not
just
for
it was
me. Like
yeah.
I want to turn the page and become a new person.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly. I feel like that's a very specific thing. Yeah, so and I like started tipping things in. Like
Mhm.
and yeah, I liked remembering the everyday of it. But yeah, so I chunked this buddy up.
And
Uh,
is that like January to December?
January to December.
Yeah.
I remember I was like sitting and like just watching Drag Race and just like
Mhm.
sitting and 23 and 2023, like this was like
Mhm.
my resolutions, weekend ideas, because otherwise we
Hmm.
would just like sit around or go do something. My book log, this is when I just started like writing down my books, and I literally just like put a single, I don't even know what you can see. I turned off my,
Well, I'm gonna ask for definitely pictures of
yeah.
that.
I literally just put like a little line. That was just like, that meant January. Like I literally was just
Oh yeah.
saying things like, this is crazy. Um, like TV and movies to watch.
See, I love that. There is a little bit of like, I miss the casualness of like sitting on the couch watching Drag Race with a couple pins and being like, I'm about to go at it.
That's literally I was like, okay, well, the color, like I started at one point because I was like, okay, I travel a lot. And so I'm like, I have to like plan things out and like be like, did I book a hotel? Did I do those things? And
Mhm.
so I was like, okay, here's just a blank page, and be like, okay, pink is the color of February. So like that's gonna be the accent color. And I feel like I
Mhm.
have to sort of limit myself in a way that's like very similar to like web design, where you're like, I love all these colors, but you can't use like 20 different colors on one web page, or else it gets crazy. And
Right.
I see, I think that was what I was not great about in the beginning of like my journaling. And then I sort of got like, this was graduation.
Mm.
Like I was like, oh, okay, gold because Emory, we're gonna do that. And then like this became kind of green and orange because I got a bouquet that had green
Mhm.
like wrapping paper or whatever you call that. Is that wrapping paper? Tissue paper? I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
sure.
No, whatever. Um, but yeah, and then I was just like, oh, I love just like putting in random, like I just put a Metro card in here. Like that's
Mhm.
crazy. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, there's like a little man from a bachelorette party. He
Oh
was like
my
a little
God.
stripper straw
That's so
situation.
funny.
Um, but yeah, and so I definitely like looking back through this can see where I got, this is literally from, have you been to How Crispy Express?
I haven't yet.
Oh my God. It was just
How
on,
is it?
it was good. It was just on Triple D apparently.
Oh, cute.
Itinerary. But yeah, I literally like ripped that off a chicken sandwich. Why did I don't know. Um, but yeah, so it just sort of became like a scrapbooky sort of situation.
Mhm.
Instead,
I think people are
yeah,
scared to use that word.
scrapbook.
Yeah, I think it feels like, or maybe they're just like, I don't know. The people that are doing junk journaling
Hmm.
are potentially just actually scrapbooking and they're not really
This is
sort of
yeah.
thinking that, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's the reinventing the wheel thing again, where it's like, is
Mhm.
this scrapbooking? Is this junk journaling? Is that like, what are we doing? I'm like, I don't care. It's me sitting playing. And that is great because
That's what matters the most.
that's what matters, because otherwise planning is really helpful. I have to have a plan. Like you and your happy planner, like I think you at one point, I don't know which of your various media that I follow you on that you sent this on, but you were like, my like dreams have gotten too big for me not to like use this planner and like be like really intentional about planner, like being planner down, like just
Yeah.
being like, sorry, like that has to go there, and like we have to
Yeah.
set the time out and we have to set the intention of doing it.
Mhm.
But so that feels very like for my sanity, and this feels just like play. Like I'm just like, sure, whatever, put whatever in my cousin, put whatever
Yeah.
in my little $8 Joann's.
So for 2024, did you go to a cousin?
Yeah, so I was in a cousin in 2024. Look at this. The
Oh, what a babe.
I know I have not shared. I don't know. I feel like I mostly, because I started my like Bookstagram really for like books, and then I was like, okay, well, but I am doing all this stuff, and like people do share that, and like people do
Hmm.
like that, so okay, I'll share. But I feel like I haven't shared too much of it. But yeah, I was in a cousin for 2024, and then I went to
So same vibes?
same same vibes a little bit. I think there is like a lot of the like collection kind of stuff that I was talking about. Like here's Atlanta restaurant wish list,
Mm.
things
And
I want
that's
to
just on a
try.
random page.
This was on the December 2023 page because I was like, I got this in whenever I started it. I started it in January, but I was like, I don't need that December. It was monthly, the December monthly that I was.
Hmm. Oh, I see. Yeah.
And then for a while I was like trying to use the monthlies.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out for me. And then Yeah, the monthlies, I've just started in my 2025. I've just started like, I'll put like, I'll try to sort of like put down dates if I'm doing something that like I need to know, like, okay, I'm out of town for like this block, right? But I've started just like, because I collect so much junk, scraps, like whatever, ephemera now, that I end up like not having space for it. And so I've started just sort of like collage
Oh, cute.
for my month.
Yeah, that's smart.
Because I'm like, I have like, oh, we like went to we went to Paris for Valentine's Day because we found $300 round trip ticket flights. And so I said,
Amazing.
get on the plane. Um,
Mm.
and so we literally like walked to like a grocery store and got a bottle of champagne and then walked down to the Eiffel Tower. And I was like, oh, I have the champagne thing here. But like I didn't
Yeah.
really put it on like it's my Paris page. I wanted to like document all the places we went. And so I
Yeah,
like
that can
no
be.
place to put it.
I have run into that issue before of like, I have too much that I want to put on the page. And so it's smart to do like us, like to not just be like, oh, well, I'm not going to use this. I'm going to throw it away.
Yes, yeah. I
Yeah.
just and like
I get very all or nothing in a way, which is
explain that.
silly.
Tell me more,
Like,
as they say.
like if I'm like, okay, well, I have all of these ephemera, but I also want to talk about places we went and it doesn't all fit. It's like, well,
Yes.
ugh, then I have to choose one.
Yes.
I can't sometimes see the forest through the trees and be like, oh,
Yes.
just put it on the month page.
Yes, which I feel like is kind of, yeah, I've started the month page thing. I was like, okay, I collage on things anyway, like because I do like a collage for like the new year of like, like a vision boardy kind of thing. So I was like, why don't I just, I have all these scraps. Like I don't want to, and I feel bad. I don't know if you feel this way, but like I get attached to the scraps. I'm like, what if I needed this? I had two copies of this like ticket on like that we took on our honeymoon. I'm like, well, I already used one on this page, but what if I need it on, yeah, literally. And I'm like, I can't just like keep pack ratting this. Like, what is the point of having it if I can't like use it or see it? And
Yeah,
like,
that's smart.
it is very like time bound too sometimes, right? Like
Yeah,
sometimes it's just like, you go girl. And it's like, yeah, I can put that wherever in January or September.
exactly.
But sometimes it's like, yeah, if I put that like champagne thing down and
Right. Like sometimes it is St. Patrick's Day and it
yes, yeah,
has to be
like
St. Patrick's
sometimes
Day.
unfortunately, yeah. So yeah, so like I did like our Paris trip. Let me see. Yeah. So we do like an amazing race scavenger hunt every year for Valentine's Day and we like write
Cute.
clues. And so it's also helpful to remember like, okay, Shaunish started this year. So the next year I start. So like he'll do 5 in the morning, I'll do 5 in the afternoon kind of thing.
Mm,
But it's also helpful to be like, oh, yeah. So then, like, the next time you're in London or the next time you're in Paris,
yeah.
like, I can be like, oh, wait, this was really cool. I'm like the queen of like unsolicited recommendations. Because I'm like, yeah, wait, go there. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I wanted to like practice doodling because I feel like
Cute.
I am not very good at it. And it's not that I'm like not good, like, I'm like, not good. It's just like, I don't practice it. And so, like,
Yeah.
how do you get better at it without practicing? So, I guess
Nobody wants to hear that, but it's the truth.
no, yeah. And like I literally had to like I have a whole like section in my journal because I like went and did this is so oversharing, but like I went and did like a workshop on Jekyll Island for a bunch of bankers and they were so nice. But like
Mm.
and I did fine, but like I did this, it's like this perfectionist thing where I was like, I wanted to like dazzle, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I
Of
did not
course.
do like I didn't blow them away. I didn't like leave there with them like I am naming my firstborn child
Mhm.
after you after that Canva presentation, Bailey.
Mhm.
Like, and I was like just like laying on the hotel bed, just like staring at the ceiling. And she was just like, you don't have to be good. Like, this is your first time doing it. You do not have to
Mhm.
be like, you also probably did fine. Like, no one is going to remember that. And I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, I
unfortunately
literally,
cannot also grasp that information,
yes.
it's like
You're like, thank you. Thank you. I know, but
yeah,
also I
but
don't.
also yeah,
Yeah.
but also shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, shut up. That's not true. But yeah, so it's like, it's helpful because like I have all this ephemera that I am
Mm.
using and just putting over because I don't, it's helpful to be like, okay, like, yeah, like the Bradleys or my friends from my sister's friends from the UK are coming to Atlanta. And so I'm like, okay, I need to know that now, but like
Mm.
I'm gonna have that documented on my daily page. So if I just like sort of collage over it with ephemera,
Right.
I don't need to like reference this again, you
Well,
know?
that was my question when you started talking about this. Like, it's not for planning because it's not like you're referencing this to be like, oh, let me look how the month's gonna go. Maybe that's more so your weeks, but it's just as like just a memory jog to know that they're
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like in case, yeah, just to see it like at a glance and be like, okay, what is this month holding? Because like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I am gonna be very gone for like May, June, and July. And so I'm like, okay, I cannot like just I cannot commit to doing anything then.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, so it's just sort of like a rough reference because I think I have more specifics in my weeks, but yeah, I guess that's the place I really do have a little bit of double dip, but that's really the only place.
Yeah. Yeah. And that
Yeah.
makes sense to me. Do you take your weeks with you whenever you travel? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I take weeks when I travel. I take cousin when I travel. I take weeks and uh parking lot notebook to the
Uh-huh.
office, but I don't normally take my cousin to the office. Um,
So I have in here, I want to talk to you about travel
yeah,
journaling,
yeah.
but I don't want to cut you off if you're
No,
getting going good on this. Okay.
no, I'm just vibing.
So I'm not great with, I talk about this every other episode. I'm not great with journaling somewhere that is not
Yes,
surrounded by all my things.
yes.
So I'm curious about your travel journal process. If you do it, what you bring with you.
Hmm.
Are you literally travel or journaling there? And this is all
Hmm.
selfish because I'll be gone for like 2.5 weeks and I don't want to fall that far behind because I'm already
Yeah,
so far behind. So I'm
yeah,
going to have to learn in real time
yeah,
how to travel journal. So I am looking
yeah.
for some tips. But first, I want to know,
Ooh.
do you travel journal?
Well, and this is another thing of like semantics, like is like what is
Sure.
travel journaling? Because like I know a girl, so I when I graduated college for undergrad, after that, I was a Fulbright scholar to India. So I lived in India for about a year and a half. And there was a girl who was also a Fulbrighter to, oh my God, one of the stands, Kyrgyzstan.
Sure.
Stand. It was one of those. I think she was Kyrgyzstan. And she literally for every trip she takes, she gets like a little notebook
Uh-huh.
just every day.
Very traveler's notebook. Like, so
Yes. And I'm
every
like,
place has a notebook.
yes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and she's like, yeah, I have like 52 notebooks because of all the countries. And I was like,
And
that
I think that's beautiful.
is,
However, that's going to have to go ahead and live in my cousin because
that,
I can't have separate notebooks.
that's exactly it. Yeah. And so that's why I was like, I love that idea, but also I get also bogged down in like the definition of travel journaling because I'm like,
Mhm.
am I detailing? What am I detailing? Like, and for some reason, I think people think of travel journal as like separate from like real life journal. You know what
Mhm.
I mean?
Well,
Like,
and it's so funny because when I'm asking you, I mean literally, do you journal while you travel?
oh, okay.
Like, and do you do it the same way? Like, and but I also think that you're right. Like, there, it does mean so many different things. Does it mean I'm journaling about my day? Does it change because I'm just in a different place? Like,
Yes.
for me, I don't think it does. It's just
Yeah,
like
no,
you
and
have
I
more
agree.
ephemera.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly it. For me, I try not to make that distinction, but I think some people get very like I'll see like there's a this girl, she constantly pops up in my explore Morel journals. She like does these like gorgeous watercolor. I'll find it. She
Yeah,
is
please.
very cool. But it's like stuff where it's like, a vista that she remembers and she draws that whole thing. And then like also with the Vista, she like writes down every single thing she did. And I'm like, I can't do that. I like to me, it's like, yeah, what is the big thing from the day? Or
Mm,
if I have all this ephemera, how am I using it? But so I
mhm.
think to answer your question, I do the journaling every day while I'm traveling, but also not like this is happening like after. Like this was like
Oh, I hate to hear that a little bit, Bailey.
I'm sorry, but no, but I have a caveat.
Okay.
Yeah, so like the big like this kind of like this was from we were in Singapore at the beginning of our honeymoon, and I was like, oh, like we went to this temple, it was super cool, and like all these gorgeous things. I was trying to remember like just everything that we did,
Mm-hmm.
just like a list of like everything we ate in Singapore because I was like, it was so freaking good. But this happened after because I was like, I have all of my ephemera and
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to figure out like, okay, if I wasn't going to put, my little fortune cat stickers here, then I could figure out another place to put them, if that makes sense. But I
Right.
take very thorough iPhone notes. I literally just have a like, but I don't even know if thorough. I bullet point. Like, so let me find.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
and why you find that, I want to tell you
yeah.
why I don't like that answer. And
Kick
and
me
it's
out
because
right now. Kick me out of the Zoom.
no, it's
Do it.
mostly just that you didn't tell me what I wanted to hear, which of
No,
course
yeah,
is
that's
really fine.
fair.
But I like my favorite pages and my cousin, some of them my favorite pages of my cousin are like events based
Mm.
and I think it's when it becomes that like junk journal of it all.
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
like I want to be able to do this
Oh,
on the
yes.
road. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And like I don't know what it takes to be able to like do this while I'm on a train going to Paris or something. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yes.
and so I think I keep asking everyone how they do it because I just want someone to tell me, you need to bring this, you need to bring
Well,
this, you need to bring this. And I don't think anybody can answer that for me,
no,
unfortunately.
yeah, no, the answer lies inside of you. But
And I
also,
hate
I
that.
have done that. Like, I have, like, yes, I take thorough iPhone notes, but also, like, we were sitting in, like, because we went Singapore to Japan and I was sitting in, like, the Singapore lounge for literally, we had like 8 hours. And I was like, I need to like get like this stuff out of my
Mhm.
head and like out of like I want to be prepared to go to the next part of our honeymoon, you know what I mean? Like I want to
Gotcha.
like unload. And so I started doing this in like a lounge in Singapore and I usually take with me, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to find it, but it's another father-in-law gift. It's
Cute.
coming in clutch. Okay, wow, I'm so sorry. This has just turned into show and
You're
tell.
fine. Oh, I mean, that's the point.
Um, but it literally is like it's like a tech case. Like he got it for like, I don't even know. That I think he like gave it to Sean. She was like, you will use this for your tech things. And like, yeah, probably. Like, so like you could put
Oh, yeah, yeah.
things in there. But I sometimes do that. Like sometimes if I have like, a USB charger or whatever, I
Mm-hmm.
need to put those there. But then there's like this. So I keep like
Mm-hmm.
scraps in there that I collect
Smart.
like while I'm on the road. And then I put my pens in here. And then
That's a
like
really good idea.
I also took like usually I'll take with me my Canon Ivy died and also I don't really care to revive it.
I have such a love-hate relationship with that thing.
Yeah, I'm like it's cool because I have all this zinc paper that I'm like I need to use it. But I don't want to buy another one because I didn't think I don't know. The
Oh,
quality was
it's not
fine.
the best. It's like
Yeah.
a Stockholm situation for me where I'm like, it's here. I don't want to, my printer is across the house. I don't want to go that far. I don't want to replace that ink. I'd rather
Give
just buy
me
more zinc
little
paper.
sticker from my
100%.
phone. Like, yeah, no, that the ease
100%.
of access for that. But I sometimes when it was working would bring that with me so I could do like a
Mhm.
little bit of it on the road. But then I would also bring like tape and then um a glue stick sometimes or like one of those glue dot
Yeah.
runners. Usually glue stick because I just
Yeah,
like
I like a glue stick.
yeah, I'm like, I got one in Japan when I was like on stationery spree. Like literally,
Mm.
there was this one day of our honeymoon where I was like, I'm going out and
Mm.
doing stationery. And Sean was like, happy honeymoon. And I was like, I'm sorry, do you want to go to the 8th floor stationery place? No,
Right.
I don't. Like, um, but so yeah, I bring glue stick, tape, pens.
Tape as in just like clear tape.
Yeah, like straight up like scotch.
Yeah, that's my preference.
Like I'm
I'm
like
not a washi girl.
I have tried it. I have like two that I like, but I'm like, I can't really, yeah, I don't think I'm washy in
Yeah.
the way a lot
I
of
have
people are.
this on my desk and it has like these dots
Oh,
that I
I love the
love.
dots. I love the
They're my
dots.
favorite.
They're
Yeah,
so
but
good.
I will use like this washi and this washi occasionally, but I've had washi tape for years because I'm just not
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know how to
I
use
have a
it.
bunch of stuff like that I got from like my Bujo days, like back in
Mhm.
like 20 whatever. And yeah, I've like jettisoned a lot of it, but also just have it like in case I wake up one day and decide I'm going to be a washi.
Right. A new person.
Yeah.
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 I have a lot of things like that.
I'm like, why am I doing this? Um, But yeah, so I take that. So what is it? yeah. Glue stick, tape. I usually take my select fave markers.
And
Um,
how many would you say?
oh, okay. I like to give myself like an option for each. This is I mean, it makes sense in my broken brain, but like I'm like, okay, I have a green,
Mm-hmm.
I have a yellow, I'm
Like a
orange.
Roy G. Biv
Yeah, a
situation.
Roy G. Biv sort of
Yeah.
situation. And then I want
And
to
I
like,
do the same. Yeah.
yeah, and like have like a couple other like whatever I'm feeling. Like for some reason, I'm feeling very into. Oh my God, I don't know what color this one is.
Let's show it up. It's
This is a fun game. This could be a
I
whole
know.
like,
Well, it's hard to say because of the light you have,
yeah.
but it looks like it might be 312 or 3 or 291 maybe.
Let me see. At one point, I swatched in one of my cousins.
Oh, actually might be 243. I had pulled one. I don't just know that off the top of my head. I'm looking at my case of
You
108, by the
should
way.
do like a like Tombow like I'm trying to think of a way to like you can do like fortune telling with like you've pulled like ask a question. Ah, I've pulled
I'm
837.
1000% about to start doing that.
Yeah, yes, you absolutely should. Yes. Yeah, you 100% should. It is, yeah, no, that do that.
Good
Create a
stuff.
crew. Um, but yeah, I would take what is that? Roy G. Biv is like, oh my God, 8 colors? Math?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yep.
Okay. But I don't usually do like an indigo. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, what?
I like,
Six?
yeah, I'll throw like a something else into the mix.
Yeah, like a turquoise or
Yeah.
like, you
And
know,
like a gray. I like a
yeah, or
gray.
like I'm into 990. I'm into that one
Mm.
lately. It's like a
Yeah,
sandy.
that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll throw in like a black one.
I never use my black ones. Ever,
Well,
ever,
but
ever.
you use the
The Fudenosuke.
Udinosuke. Can
Mhm.
you show me that? I don't think I have one.
I can show you that. They make a hard tip and a soft tip. Um,
Okay. This whole time when like I've heard people talk about Udinosuke, I just thought they were like black
oh yeah.
black combo.
No, it's this one. It has like a, this is a pretty new one, so it's still like a pretty
It's
pointy
like pretty.
end,
Yeah.
but it dulls for me. For me, I love when it gets like rounded. It is
Mm,
very like bullet tip when you've used it a lot, and I'm
yes.
obsessed.
Oh, I like that. And I feel like I have this one and I have no idea. This again was from Stationery Spree. Um,
Let me see.
all in Japanese. It says touch. It's a
Oh,
pen.
a Pentel.
Oh, Pentel
That's a Pentel sign pen.
sign pen. That's it.
Yeah, those rule.
This is amazing. I
Yeah.
love it. And also then the other day when we were in Banff, I like went into this little like local stationery shop and she had um Le Pens. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
I haven't used those in so long. I like used them like when I first started, but then I was literally like in this little one, like I literally was writing my whole day in Le Pen, and that was crazy.
Oh wow.
Like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah.
It
Do you,
didn't feel
what
right.
kind of do you like a felt tip? Like
I guess that, what is that? What kind of tip is this? I like that
I
guy.
would consider that to be a felt tip.
Yeah.
Have you ever used the zebra click arts?
Ooh, I have not.
It's really nice.
Writing this down.
And
Click.
they make a bunch of colors, I think, but it's like it's very much that to me. Or like if the bullet point of the Tombow dual brush pens were like more pointy, I don't know. It's hard to I don't know where I was going with that, but
Like
it
more
feels
precise, or you feel like more dull?
like a little more dull, but again,
Okay.
let me double check by just actually using it. There's something about the bullet tip pen. Oh, it's way more precise. And it's like I just like it. It feels good in my hand. It's a good like Sharpie-ish
Yes.
feeling.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, and the sign pen has been the move. So I usually bring that with me. And
Mhm.
then for just like writing, I use, oh my God, I don't even, it's probably my work bag. I don't know. I just use like, it's a, it's an Energel. Is that something?
Clenna,
I think
yeah, an
it's,
Energel.
I don't know if it's a Clenna though.
I actually don't know them well enough to know
Yeah, I
the
don't,
difference.
it's like a clicky pen, but it's
Uh-huh.
not quite like the
Gel,
ink.
it's gel, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gel. So the ink doesn't smear because I've tried like the ink and I just write too fast. Like I think you had asked also like what is your like journaling style? And I was like, probably
Mhm.
fast and loose. Like I'm just like, just get it down, baby. Like,
Well, I like that. And I think that you write, so earlier, like 1,000 years ago when we
yeah.
started talking about this, I said you journal a lot differently than me. And
Yeah.
and to me, you journal so much more like words than I do, and like full pages of words. And I'm curious, like, how do you decide, you'll write like things that I'm thinking about or things that I care about,
Mm,
things that I don't care about.
yeah.
Like, how do you get that? Like, I just want to hear about that.
Yeah. I
I
think
just
that
like ran out of steam mid-sentence.
you were like, go take it from there. Yeah. No, I got it. I'm meeting you halfway. I'm carrying you.
Gorgeous.
There's one set of footprints.
Somebody's got to.
Somebody's got to. Yeah, I think of it as like when I think of like what you're talking about, like of all the words, I think of those as like that's my like collections. That's like my lists.
Mm,
And, like that feels again like
I
things
like that
I
word.
don't want to forget. They're yeah, they're it's very listy collection-y. And it's very like, okay, if I don't know what to write, because sometimes people will be like, I hear all my feelings, and I'm like, I don't need to know that. If I like had
Mhm.
like this one, okay, matcha with oh look, paper people.
Oh,
Well,
me.
that's you. That was your first episode. I was like, oh my gosh, she's so
Yay.
great. Um, so I was like, Paper People came out. And then I was also like, okay, I had matcha with my friend May. So I was like, okay, we talked about like her kid is like in a certain thing. We were like, talking about things. And then, but I'm not like, oh, this makes me like I don't really
Mhm.
process feelings all the time. Like to me, it's very just like this was fun or funny or like I needed
Right.
to worry about it. Or I
Yeah,
didn't
that
need
felt good. Yeah.
yeah, not I needed to worry about it. I needed to like document that. Um, and then there's other things like I just wrote public sushi and I just drew some public sushi and I put the
Gorgeous.
chopstick from public sushi. And then um I like had a really funny moment like where I like what like we go to this like again, I'm not trying to dox myself, but like we go to the Ellis Teca on Roswell Road before trivia every Wednesday. And
Hmm.
so like the guy, like I went there one time and Shawnish like wasn't there. And so he was like, where's your husband? And he was like, I know you guys, you get the number five and you get the I was like, oh, that's so cute. Like I was like,
That
that's
is
great.
cute.
And it was like other stuff had happened. And so like I wrote down like, okay, cutie moments of community despite the horrors. And then
Ah,
I just have to think of like when people were like, in the last couple weeks, like these fun little moments that happened. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah, sort of,
So like something will spur the thought and then you're able to like expand on it because you've maybe the journaling practice has trained you to be thinking about things in that way, which is again
yes.
why I like to journal.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's like I have been trained to like okay, yeah, the things I'm lucky about, that was like obviously St. Patrick's. Sometimes it's just
Mm.
St. Patrick's Day. And then there
My new
are
motto.
like sometimes it's just St. Patrick's Day. Live every life like it's St. Pat or live every life, live every day. Um but yeah, and then like the things I don't quite get, again, me and my hot takes over here. I kept seeing those sunny angels, and I'm like, they're little naked babies. I don't get them. If you get them, wonderful. I love that for you.
That.
Have you seen these? They're these little like naked babies people put on their phone, and they like have little hats. Mm.
Uh-huh.
Well, the capitalism of this is a
I
little too
know
much
it is
for me.
tough.
Of
And
water
to
drop.
me it's also very much like I would love to study all of that,
Yes.
including like the
Oh,
fountain penification. I'm currently in the middle of the fountain
I
penification.
know. Yeah.
And I'm like, what is it? Is it that it feels good to buy things? Like, is it that I feel like this one thing's gonna change my life? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that is interesting. I don't know about yeah, because you are in a fountain pen moment. And I have
Mhm.
seen people like when it happens to people, it's like they're fountain pen now. You know what I
It
mean?
was
Like,
like it happened slowly and then all at once, which
yes,
is what they
yes,
say.
that's
But like,
exactly yeah.
yeah, the other one's in my purse.
The colors are the green. I can't get over the green.
I
That's
know, and it's absolutely unusable. The ink in here is not, you can't read it. Like, maybe on certain papers.
oh,
Yeah.
it's that color ink too.
Well, I bought that color ink. Like,
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's
it's amazing, but yeah, it's not super practical. So that's when I have to start being like, what was I hoping
yeah.
versus what is the reality versus
Yeah.
what now can I do with it? And
Yes.
maybe it's drawing, maybe it's I don't know. I don't
But
know.
yeah,
I'm
and
having fun.
I feel like that color that color feels like you're kind of like I feel like you use very bright colors in your like works. And so
Yeah, I like my neon.
I feel like it makes sense. Like, so it's like, okay, so what if you can't read it? Whatever. Like you'll be able to use that. I'm
I
just
hope,
like
hey,
here
I hope so.
affirming that this fountain pen is it's a good purchase. But
Yeah.
before Joe, oh, Sunny Angels. Oh, my lists. I was
Oh,
there. I
yes.
was like,
Okay,
how
yes,
did
yes. I
I
was
get
like, how did we get there?
how
This
did
is like number one episode of like
me?
following tangents. How did
Yeah,
we
I'm
get there?
just
I'm impressed that you're able to bring it right back around
no,
because
this is
again,
yeah.
it's 4:30 on a Thursday and I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
Wait,
I
what
was
time
like,
is
oh
it?
my God, I'm yeah.
4:50.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
We'll
stop me
we'll
at
close
any
out here just because
yeah.
I got to go to the gym in a
No,
minute.
yeah.
But
You're like, I have things to do, woman. Um, but yeah, no, I think like lists like that, like I mean, and I think a lot of it is stuff that I just don't want to lose. Like at one point because I was like, okay, maybe I want a book journal. No,
mm,
again, as discussed, it's too much for me to
wish I could.
like, look at that. I tried at one
I
point.
love it. I love it. And I find that these are the girlies that are getting Penguin Random House to notice them, Berkeley to notice them, and I resent it so
I'm
hard.
like, but
God.
yeah, no, I think the list thing comes back to that like not wanting to forget. Like I do these things in my journal. So I was trying to make like a hobbies journal. So that was like
Hmm.
books, and then it was like movies to watch, videos,
Hmm.
board games to try, podcasts to listen
Hmm.
to, and then like perfumes. I, went through a perfume.
Yeah,
I still am pretty perfumey, but
I
like
love perfume.
craft ideas. And then like travel ideas because like I'll just like hear someone be like, "Oh, you should go here when you go here," or I'll, like save it on TikTok or save it on Instagram, which I haven't been on TikTok since the
Me
whole.
either. Me
I
either.
it feels weird to me. I can't do it. I'm like,
I feel really proud of myself because I'm like, I mean, not that I've replaced it with crossword puzzles, to be honest with you, but even that, it's
you
like
you
I'm
know
still
who
on my
has
phone.
a crossword puzzle streak? Shawnish, my husband.
I'm
He
obsessed with that. What's his
literally.
streak?
Yeah, wait, what is your streak? He's here now. He's come back in from the balcony. He's at 65 days, but so
Dang.
65 days ago, our streak got broken from it
A
was
big
from
one.
travel or like times that like we were like on was that Paris? I think it might have been Paris. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
My
it
new
was today.
like my Wordle kept like out of nowhere just kind of like resetting and I had hundreds of days and finally I just had to like let go and be like I don't even care anymore. I hate you.
The Wordle, I wrote it for a while because I was like, this is fun. It was like a cute little like everyone's doing Wordle situation.
Hmm.
And then I was like, this is just luck. Like it's
Yeah.
like all I'm doing is typing in stare
Yeah.
like
I
every
use a different one every time because I'm stubborn. Every single time.
oh.
I like let the mood take me. And sometimes it's really not a good idea.
There was someone I remember when it started, and I remember I was like telling my friend about it, and I can't remember who it was, but they pulled out their phone and they're like, I'm gonna try. And then they typed in pizza. And I was like, no, this is so bad. You're not gonna get it. It was,
God bless.
I was like, oh no, oh no. But then I'm like, I can't tell someone like they're wordling wrong. Like that's insane. But
No, you absolutely can.
no,
You should.
I think the lists and the listing comes from like not wanting to like forget and like wanting to like categorize them so I can like reference them later. Like
But again, is that a commonplace book?
I don't know, girl. I don't know, but is it a commonplace book if I also like, I literally taped like a feather from a safari in
I
my
mean,
present? Like, is that commonplace? I don't know.
I
Like,
think you can justify that down.
I think it is just like it's just journaling to me. I think just like
Yeah.
you can make a definition out of anything, but I'm trying to find I do these things where I because I'm so online and so like, saving things in my phone or whatever, like I do like what I call bubble thoughts and I literally just like, once a month or once a quarter or whatever and just like go through my screenshots because I'll like see like a book
Mm-hmm.
cover or like you posted something about we are internet people and I was like, "Oh, I want to listen to that." And so I was
Oh yeah, they're fun.
like I was like, okay, screenshot, like, and so there are these things that if not, they just like live in my Google photos until Google hollers at me that I'm like not gonna be able to send emails
Right.
like
Right.
in like 2 minutes. And like they have my my cat like held at gunpoint.
Uh,
They will act if I don't do it now. So I think it's like just being able to like okay, I found that interesting. I want to record it in case I want to go back and do that later. And I found that like that's been really helpful because
Mhm.
it's like, okay, here's this list of restaurants that I want to try instead of just being like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to try that. Like it's
Right.
sort of like for
It
me,
like it's like gets you to do it. That's what
yeah,
it is for me. Yeah.
it's like the equivalent, it's that follow through I think we were talking about earlier, where it's like the equivalent of like not just being like, oh, we should grab coffee. Like it's like that, no, oh, I want to go to that place. It's like, no, like I want to go to that place. Write it down. I'm not gonna forget it because now
Yeah.
it's in this place. And so yeah.
Okay, you
Wow.
have a confidence to your to your pages, and I think the way that you talk about your pages too, like I
Whoa.
don't get the impression that you're like, oh, like even when you're talking about, oh, I'm practicing drawing because I don't do it that often. What to you like I think I would like to hear what makes a successful page for you, and also what is a page, what elements of a page are you like, oh, I wish I would have done that better, or like I'm happy to turn this page and never see it again.
Oh, girl. Well, so first of all, I just have to show you. I literally was like, oh, this is hysterical to me. Because I was like trying to do one of those, the Barbification AI things.
Mm.
I was like, I'm gonna try to draw it so that I don't use AI.
Oh
I was
Lord.
on, I was on my AI high horse, which
Uh-huh.
it's nuanced. There it is.
Anyway, back to what you're
But
saying.
literally, look at that. Look at that.
Oh my God.
Look at Spooky
It's
Bailey.
so
Oh,
cute.
it's so bad. I couldn't,
Is
the
it?
eyes, I looked like, so I was
Oh,
like,
eyes are
okay,
hard.
we're doing sunglasses. But I was like, here's my starter pack. And I like have a karaoke machine. What does that say? Who done it on
Oh
my
my
wood?
God.
This
Okay, but
matcha. This
like,
isn't a successful page for me. This is like a what? You know what I
see,
mean?
and I think that's what I mean by the confidence of it is like you are not,
The
there are so
hate.
many people that will write on the page like, "Oh, this sucks." And it's like, grow up.
No,
You practiced and you had
no.
fun and you put it down and that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like here, paper people prep. Like, look at that. Okay. I
obsessed.
feel
Yeah,
like I
well, what have we not covered on
no,
this yet?
no. I mean, we could get into all kinds of, oh, this was you. This was who have you
Oh.
always been? What have you always loved? How does that show up in your practice? And the first thing I wrote was hunter-gatherer tendency.
Mm.
Sharing opinions. Yeah,
Collecting. Yeah, that
collecting,
makes sense.
magpieing,
Yeah.
cataloging. I did you ever do like this is a crazy like corporate astrology thing, but did you ever do the Gallup Strengths Quest?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's
I don't think so.
kind of fun. It like
What, where would I do that? The Gallop is in the poll?
yeah, they do. They've diversified, baby. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know how. I think it's associated with the same poll, but it's like
Uh-huh.
basically this tool that they use for like, personal development. And
Mm-hmm.
it's actually pretty fun. I think it's like 25 bucks or something, but you just take an inventory and then they have all these like strengths that you can have, and they identify your top five strengths. And so
I'm
it's like a
absolutely going to do that.
yes. Oh, it's so good. And my strengths, like their sort of philosophy behind it is that, you know, again, like the ugh, this sucks. Like you're always going to focus on the stuff that you're not good at. Like that's always going to
Yeah.
be the easiest thing for you to focus on because it's negative. It's going to stick in your mind. But the way that you really like, feel better about like what you're doing and like produce like, oh yeah, again, we're back to capitalism, but like produce better work or like, you know, feel like more successful and feel more, yeah, just like aligned to what you're doing is by like playing off your strengths. And so they tell you like your top five.
Mm.
And my top one, okay, is communication. And then the next one is input. And input is literally just like sort of squirreling away information in case you need it later. Like it's just like, oh, that might come in handy someday. Or like, like, oh, I'm gonna keep that email in my like inbox in case I need to pull it up later or like how many like receipts do I have from like screenshotting
Oh,
random
of
things on
course.
the internet like
Hmm.
crazy, but I also like to know where it is in case I need it. And I guess that's also like the unsolicited recommendations. I'm like, oh, I know all these things, here's my like Wikipedia entry for that thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I think that's where that comes from. Successful pages to me are just, yeah, pages that I feel like I like a lot. I don't like a lot of white space.
Mm.
like a full page.
That's
And
very common in the episodes. It's really
yeah,
interesting because I've never really thought about it before. It doesn't really bother me.
yeah. And for me, I've like noticed like, okay, like this one, we went to Oyster Fest and then
I
like,
love that.
oh, like we went to Oyster Fest and then we went to like, my father-in-law. Shaunash, your dad is getting like 3 shout outs in this
Yeah, I mean
episode.
he's on the episode. I'm gonna get him next week.
Here he is. Yeah. Oh, I would love to see Sid on a journaling podcast. He would be so confused. He asked me the other day, he goes, how many people are in your book club? And I said, my bar book club or like my like friend book club. He was like, your book club. And I was like, 10. And he was like, I think he meant like my bookstagram. I don't think we get
Oh,
the
I see,
same
I
thing.
see, I
He
see.
didn't seem satisfied with that answer.
Yeah. He's like,
Okay,
okay,
that's
you
10.
suck. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he was like, wow, you are not an influencer. But yeah, like so this is bothering me because I'm like, ugh, I need to write about like
And
so
see, I mean, I do like the way that you compose a page because you will be like, we went here and then we went here and then we went here and then you have so many different aspects
cast
to a
and loose,
page.
baby.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
I feel like it is very like this, like, yeah, I guess it's just how I talk. Like it's like, oh, there's one thing over here, but then also there's this thing over here. And like,
Mm.
yeah. So yeah, oh my gosh, there's this girl I'm obsessed with. She made Marta Bus claw clips. But yeah, but like, yeah, it's just stuff like, okay, we try to go to Buford Highway every Sunday. So like,
Mm.
here's like the receipt of what we got from Lanzhou. Cause I'm like, I'm not
Mm.
gonna remember that. And then
Mm-mm.
like things I would like to doodle. And then like, okay, I had to like, are you a dancer? Someone asked me that at yoga the other day. And I was like, no, thank
Compliment.
you. That's so kind. I'm
Brag.
like, wow, brag. Um, but yeah, so I'm like, oh, I just want to like write those down. And like once I see it, I know what I'm
Yeah.
doing. I don't, yeah.
I like that that just plays like right into your strength, your top two strengths of communication and input. It's like,
Oh.
turns out they were
It
right.
turns out the
Wow.
studies were right, which is crazy. But yeah, so you should definitely, oh, tell me what you are when you take it.
I will do that. Yeah. How long does it
And,
take?
like an hour.
Okay.
It's like pretty, and they like send you like an assessment of like, okay, this might be something that you're good at, and then it might be something you're bad at. So for me,
Hmm.
input, I have a tendency to overshare
Mm.
information. And so it's like, okay, be aware of that, of when, like, obviously I don't rein it in. Here we are
Sure.
yapping, but like, if I'm in an actual meeting or something,
Right. When it matters.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you'll like it.
I think so too.
Woohoo.
All right. Well, I mean, I
Really
think
fun.
I could talk to you all day.
I
I
know.
practically kind of have, if I'm being
That's
honest with you.
okay.
It's been very fun. I will ask you the closeout question.
Oh, close out question.
What's something about yourself that you've learned through journaling?
But something that I've learned about myself journaling. Yeah, I think it's that play is a practice, like
Mm.
that we have to prioritize it. And then, like, it really is just, yeah, it's just a practice. Like, it's just, you might have to make yourself do it at first because I feel like playing is not something that we really do in our day to day, right? It's not like on the eat, sleep, shower, workout, like work sort of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But like
Yeah.
if you make it on your hierarchy of needs and if you make it part of your everyday, then it just gets easier. And it just, yeah, I think it has only made my life better because I think it has allowed me to sort of document good things and document the fun of it all, rather than just like meetings and need to go pay this bill and pick things up from blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think, yeah, play is a
I
practice.
love that. It breaks up the monotony of this hellhole that we currently live in.
How am I supposed to live, laugh, love under these conditions if not by
1000%.
just doing these things, right? Like
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, we live in a simulation, so might as well make it fun. Like, I don't know,
Amen, baby.
while we can
Amen.
before the planet burns down. So,
And on that
but,
note,
oh, and on that note, oh my gosh.